Hey guys, this is Keith, giving you a little quick demonstration about the Domination station here for MLB. Kind of go over some stacking features and how to kind of work them a little bit. This is just the main screen. Obviously, you're going to take this, you're going to pick the MLB. Make sure you look at the time. There should only be one, but when there are multiple slates that I will start updating next week, then you want to make sure that you get the most recent update, and it will have the slate name for the site. So you click on there, and it gives you all the good things that is about the Domination Station. Obviously, for cash games, I would do 3 uniques. Make sure you do it by fantasy points. If you want to exclude a team, just click on the team and it'll pop up white, and it will no longer have that team in the player pool to choose from. And if you want to click the whole game, say there was a game total of 7.5, like this one, you just click that and it will not pull anybody from that game. So that's a good thing about that. You can also, for cash games, select guys that are not projected. If you see the order projection here, it will no longer show guys that are projected in whatever lineup spot you deselect. Okay. As the day goes on, and I get better at doing it on the back end, there will be a confirmed yes or unknown or all. Okay. As lineups start coming out closer to lineup block, you're going to want to click yes. If you see we click yes right now, I have not updated it on the back end, so there's not a lot of there's nobody there. So just do this right here. Your minimum exposure setting, if you wanted to go through, you could actually put in guys like I want Chris Archer to show up in 15% of my lineups, or I want him to show up in 30%. And then the max obviously is 100%. I've set the uniques at 3 for cash games, and then the max exposure I'm going to do is 67%. That'll put him in 2 out of the 3 lineups if the projections and the optimal lineups actually allow it. So that's the good thing about that. And then you can just run it basically and scroll down, and here are your 3 lineups for DraftKings. Okay. That's a good thing to go along with that. It kind of rolls over as far as team names and stuff like this. It just kind of does that. This will give your exposure settings for the player, the projection. If you ever want to put somebody, say, Matt Kemp, you want to put in more than just one lineups, you can bump up his projection over here or up here in his projections as well. Obviously, you have the positional tabs, which should be pretty self-explanatory. So there's that. And then we're going to go to reset settings here real quick. And we're going to go over the hitters. Okay. For DK, the max you can put on is 5. So we're going to go 5 and 3. The teams that you want to put are going to be in, we're going to make, let's say, 50 lineups here. The teams that you want to pick, always put in 3 just for now until we figure out exactly what the good thing is. But the teams, this total right here in the percentage has to equal 200%, otherwise it will not work, because we're doing double stacks. So that's something that you want to make sure that you always have in there. So let's go through and do St. Louis at 20, Angels at 20, Houston at 20, there's 60, Arizona at 20, there's 80, Cleveland at 20, there's 100, Baltimore at 20, there's 120, Colorado at 20, there's 140. Let's see, the Cubs at 20, there's 160, Reds at 20, there's 180, and let's put, I guess it doesn't really matter. Let's put the Dodgers at 20. So after you get this total up to 200%, and you've got the number of lineups you want to build, pretty much go up here and click on Optimize. Scroll down, and it starts popping them in. If your exposures are different than what you want, okay, say you want, you go to pictures and you want Danny Duffy in more, okay, you can go up here and, oops, here, let's do this. Forgot to do this right here. We're going to do 40% max. And it changed everybody to 40. Let's rerun that. And it starts going through down again, and it'll rerun it. Now, if you notice, for those of you that actually know the teams, you'll notice that it is a 5-player stack. Lucroy, LeMahieu, Arenado, Story, Blackman, with a 3-player Chicago Cubs stack. John Jay, Kyle Schwarber, and Anthony Rizzo, with 2 pitchers in there as well. Okay, that's what the 5 and 3 stand for up here. Okay, you can change this to 4 and 4. You can change this to 3 and 3, which then it'll do. Again, you can change this to 2 and, you know, whatever combination you want. Just as long as this right here is 200, then you're good to go on that. Okay, say this maxed out at 40% for Jeff Samardzija and Lance Lynn and, you know, Chris Archer and going on down. Say I wanted Mike Trout and more. I can either go up here and do the minimum exposure for Mike Trout, and I could change this to 30% minimum exposure. Click this, and it'll go through it again. Wait, sorry. If you do the minimum exposure, the individual player cannot exceed the team percentage. So if I wanted, you know, if I wanted this to be 30 and let's put the Dodgers at 10, then Mike Trout would show up in all my Angel stacks. Okay, you can see that. We can click, it'll go through. Oh my gosh. It says the salary cap won't allow it, so I can't build 50 lineups like that. So best way to do it is just to keep it like that, and it'll. The minimum exposure is more if you're not running stacks, I would bet. So, and it pops through, and now I've got them. Okay. It's a little bit different than NBA. The NBA one where we put out, we could do each position and each player because stacking wasn't a part of it. So say I wanted to do a 3 and a 3, okay, and then I wanted to put Mike Trout at, or let's do somebody a little bit cheaper. Let's go with who's down here. Say I wanted to go with Jonathan Scope. Okay. I go to second base, find Jonathan Scope, and I want him in at least 20% of my stacks. Click on that, and boom, it starts to go. Okay. Now after that, when you want to export via CSV, you would click either the lineup that you want, and then you could download those lineups that you want. Okay, if you want to go through and cherry pick the lineups that you want, or you can click on all and then click download. As it downloads, it'll pull up, and you just copy it over to your import file for DraftKings or FanDuel. Now let's go to FanDuel here. Okay, go to MLB. Okay, go down and here's stacks. Enable stacks. You'll have to redo this again, obviously, because each site is different. So we'll do 25s now. 25, 25, 25. That's 75, 25, that's 100. 25 is 125. 25, 150. And, oops, 25 and 25. Okay, so now I've got my 200. All the exposures are set, so I want to do 40%, not 140, 40% clicks, and it'll change it all to 40. And then I click on optimize, and boom, it gives me 3. Sorry. Let's do 100 so you guys can see how fast it goes. Pop. And start spitting them out. $95, $98, $99, and come on, don't fail me now. 100. Okay. And you can go through and you can look through here. On shorter slates, you can put allow opposing pitchers. That means you can have hitters against your opposing pitcher. And you can go through from there. Trying to think if there's anything else that I need to let you guys know. That looks to be about the main gist of it. Other than that, if there's any questions, just DM me or post it in my discussion channel, and I will get you all taken care of. So thank you very much for actually being part of the DFS Army, and hope this helps out a little bit. And as we get familiar with everything, obviously more will come out. So thanks, guys. Bye.